Seton, what's poll question today?
Which would be more important to you, playing a couple more games or the Hall of Fame?
Can I have both?
You can, but for the sake of this poll question.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the thing that I'm curious about with Phillip Rivers, because if he makes the roster and now we reset the clock and it's 5 more years before he's eligible, I think we're going to be looking at his numbers and all of a sudden they aren't going to be impressive. I think there's so many great quarterbacks putting up so many great numbers that I think he might get pushed down the totem pole a little bit, that he has, longevity, durability, put up some big numbers, never won anything. But I think he's going to get lumped in with that sort of second grouping there. And he might be up against Aaron Rodgers going into the Hall of Fame in 2031 if Rodgers doesn't play next year. So I wonder about that with Phillip. Now, if he comes back and plays, and let's say they go to the playoffs. Let's say they win a game in the playoffs. Now you've added to your resume something that's special. Maybe it's just one game, big win, but it becomes a great story. And I think that was the curiosity I had that, okay, Phillip has been coaching his son's high school team, and now you're going to play. And, I mean, it almost feels like a movie. It does. It feels like a grown-up Rudy version of, oh, my God, he's out there and he's 44 years of age and, he's a grandpa. But you come back and there's a chance to add to your resume. I don't think he can take away from his resume. If he comes back and he doesn't play well, I don't think anybody's expecting that. But if you reset the clock, now all of a sudden you bring in a whole new wave of quarterbacks that you might be competing for votes with. And he's a semifinalist this year, but once he goes to the active roster, then he's taken out of consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, Paulie.
This is what every NFL player wants. They want to come back for 4 weeks. Steve Young comes on the show every month and says, if I could play right now, I would. You ask J.J. Watt if he could walk out of the booth, play 2 games, and then go right back to the booth and push his clock back 5 years, he probably would. And this is one of those anomaly situations with Breeze that he knows it's a temp job at the most.
Yeah, but J.J. Watt's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Phillip Rivers is not.
I guess what Phillip Rivers is, I think 44 you said?
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame or not, and he has no control. And he gets to play 1 or 2 or 3 more football games for a good team. This is the dream.
Yes, Todd.
Not to be Debbie Downer, but I'll wear that hat. What if it's a total disaster, though? He goes out there, pick 6, he's over and underthrowing receivers, the ball's got a little squiggle to it, and he looks like he has no business being out there for whatever reason.
I don't think anybody would be surprised at that. I think we'll be surprised if he's good. I don't think anybody's going, yeah, doesn't look good, no mobility, no arm strength.
No Hall of Fame for you now.
No. Once again, I think he's a borderline Hall of Famer, and I'm not involved in the process. Yes, Paulie.
Here are some of the semifinalists he's up against, specifically at the quarterback position this year. It's him, it's Drew Brees, and it's Eli Manning in year 2. And everyone thinks Eli Manning year 2 is in, and I can't imagine Drew Brees not getting in.
Oh, yeah, Drew Brees should be first ballot Hall of Fame.
That would be a shocker.
Yeah. Drew Brees.
So that means it's tough this year for him.
Yeah, once again, I'm glad I don't vote on this process. Because it's a thankless job. But I don't view Phillip Rivers as anywhere near a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, if he gets in, great. I mean, it's just like Eli. I don't view him as a Hall of Famer, but he did the things that got people's attention. He won 2 of the biggest Super Bowls. He stopped an undefeated team. He beat the Patriots twice, and he played really well in those games. Those 2 seasons are going to get him into the Hall of Fame with his name. He did have durability. He rarely missed a game if he missed any. And, he's got 300 touchdowns and 60,000 yards. But, it changes, though, the numbers of how important, like Matt Ryan. He got the MVP. That makes him probably a Hall of Famer, and he got to the Super Bowl. But then they lost that Super Bowl in dramatic fashion. So I don't, once again, you're trying to sort this out, but Phillip Rivers, it's a great story. Great story. And I hope that he comes back and he's able to play where he's proud of how he's playing. Yeah, Paulie.
Phil Rivers right now is 6th all-time in touchdown passes, 421. He's ahead of Marino, Roethlisberger, Matt Stafford,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Okay. Once again, it's the eye test. Because sometimes when you say, hey, is such and such a Hall of Famer? And you go, yes. Or how quickly you say yes. Because sometimes when we have people on, I'll go, hey, such and such Hall of Famer. Well, then no. Or, like Matthew Stafford. Who did we have on? Was it Sal Palantonio? And he's a voter. And I said, Matthew Stafford. He's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, okay. Because then, I've had somebody who was a voter before who said, Stafford winning the MVP, that would solidify the Hall of Fame. Yes, Seton.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel that way about Phillip Rivers, too. I mean, I know he didn't win what everybody expected him to win, but he was clearly one of the best quarterbacks of his era.
But he was never the best quarterback of his era.
Not the best, but one of the best for sure.
Yeah, he was probably in the top 5 to 7. Is that fair?
Stat-wise, he was always there with touchdowns. He only led the league in touchdowns once. He was a 8-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Was never All-Pro.
Yeah.
First team All-Pro.
Yeah, so never the best quarterback. But, he went against some pretty impressive resumes there. Yeah, Paulie.
This comes down to not appearing in a Super Bowl.
Well, he didn't do well in the playoffs.
Yes.
I think he had a losing record in the postseason.
Yes, his record in the postseason is 5-7 for his career in 7 playoff appearances.